Good morning and welcome back to Other Worlds Wednesday here on Gaming with ADHD. Today I wanted to take a few minutes and go over what I received from the Palladium Books 2022 Christmas surprise boxes. Now, if you haven't heard of these, every year Palladium Books does a Christmas surprise box. You pay a reduced fee. Generally, it's going to come out to essentially wholesale prices, and they're going to give you about retail price worth of books. So this year it was about $58, and they promised that you would get around $95 to $105 worth of books. So I ordered one soon after the new year. And then my wife went a little nuts out shopping, and I ordered two more. So I ended up with a decent selection of books. So before we get into the actual video, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few different videos each week covering all sorts of tabletop gaming content, and I'd love for you to come along, see what we have to share. Also, don't forget, down below, I do have a couple of links to both social media so that you can follow, see when I post new videos there. And then also, in this video, there will be a link to DriveThruRPG, where it is an affiliate link. And so if you prefer purchasing your books in PDF, then it does help the channel out a little bit as well. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I get into showing what I actually received from them, I do want to mention what I put in the first email. So they ask for a list of about 10 different special wants, and basically you're going to get about 4 or 5 from that list. Now, for the first box, I just said that more Rifts would be great, primarily world books over dimension books. And then I gave them a list of what I have, basically just asking for things that would complement the books that I had originally. And then I also said that if they wanted to surprise me with main books from other games, that would be fine too. Now, I started my collection with the Rifts Ultimate Edition, Source Book 1, World Book 10, the Jupiter Uprising, World Book 11, the Coalition War Campaign, and World Book 34, the Northern Gun 2, and Rifts Chaos Earth. So that was what I had in my Palladium collection to begin with. So what did I receive from the first box? Well, let's switch over to the infamously small work table and we will take a look at it. All right, so first thing that I noted, or that I pulled out of the box, was Rifts Arsno. Now, this is sort of a supplement to 2 different books. First being World Book number 1, the Vampire Kingdoms, which basically is Mexico, and then also the Rifts New West. So New West basically covers pretty much everything west of the Mississippi. The way that the story presents it is that there's very few ley lines or magic, and it's very, very desolate. There's not a lot of people out there, and it just gives it kind of like a very, very old West feel, but they call it the New West. And so Rifts Arsno basically is a supplement for both of that. Now you'll notice I have just a note card in here for a bookmark because I have started reading it. I got it 3 weeks ago. But what I didn't realize going into it is that this is basically Rifts, Arizona. And that's where I live. And especially when I was into Rifts back in high school, it was very new. There weren't a lot of supplements. So the fact that they sent me Arsno, basically covering the Arizona area, a little bit into Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, but mostly focusing on Arizona. I was actually pretty excited. So I've actually started digging into this one pretty pretty heavily. This is what I've been reading mostly, even though there are a couple of other books that I'm trying to read. And so far, it holds up to what I expect from a Rifts book. It's lots of detail, lots of information, lots of things that you can use. A few different, adventure seeds, locations, and then just like some fun tidbits about Arizona. So showing that they did their research. So that was kind of cool. So that's the first thing I got. And that also retails for about $23. So we're at 23 so far. Now, this was an interesting one. This Nightbane World Book 4 Shadow of Light. Now, this is an adventure source book, which I believe has... I know it has some game content. I flipped through it, so I don't have Nightbane. However, it is compatible. Like, everything Palladium is compatible, and so they give you monsters, villains. I thought this was. Oh, okay. So it does have the Cipher manuscript adventure, with basically 5 parts. Now that is also kind of atypical for Palladium. They're not known for actually putting out adventure supplements. So to get this, is kind of cool because it's got some adventures, and there's probably got to be some easy ways to adapt this over to Rifts. So something a little different, something I wasn't expecting, but not bad. So that one is also 23, so we're up to 46. Then have Chaos Earth Resurrection. Now this is, at least if I remember correctly, this is an adventure. Yeah, basically this is an adventure of the early days of Rifts and basically a zombie invasion in Rifts. And so right here, warning to players: the following overview may be best left unread by players, as it contains information that as a player your character may need to uncover and learn through the course of an adventure campaign. So the rest of the book basically ends up being a campaign. There's still more information, stuff obviously that you could pull out later to use in other things. Obviously it's set in Rift's past, but that's fine. But otherwise it's the same same quality you're going to get from Rifts. That one is 21, so we're now up to 67. All right, then I got Rifts Lone Star. Now, basically this is Rifts Texas. So I've got Arizona, I've got Texas, I've got the Coalition War Campaign Juicer Uprising, so that's kind of like Illinois and Missouri areas. But Rifts Lone Star gives you more information about the Coalition, mutant animals. They basically, Lone Star is North Texas, and there's a military facility that the Coalition stumbled upon, and so that's what they use to make the Dog Boys. So you get lots of information about that, lots of just again mutant animals, merging mutant animals with other things, obviously new technology and equipment, because what's a Rifts book without new technology or equipment? Great art as always. I think this is, looks like Kevin Long, but I don't think so. NPCs, all sorts of fun stuff. So I was excited about that one. That is $23 as well, so 69, 70, 90. And then I also got the Rifts Adventure Guide. I've been reading this one a little bit as well. This is actually pretty cool because they do give you a lot of information about creating your own adventures, instead of, just, like
Kevin Simbita's treatise on what is role playing, what is the player's job, what are players supposed to do, teamwork, the Nash principle. Basically the Nash principle is, if everybody is working towards one goal, or a goal that only one person can have, then it generally fails. But if they're all trying to work towards the same goal, there's a better chance of success. Players should work with the GM, ask questions, and then what the game master's job is. Creating adventures, how to create an adventure. So lots of just background information for playing a game, which is kind of funny because especially with the OGL coming up last week, and how Wizards of the Coast announcing that basically the GMs purchase 80% of the material, but there's also a shortage of GMs, so there's more people that want to play than are willing to run the game. So it comes down to, where do you find good information about how to create adventures? And some books are better than others. Some Dungeon Masters guides have been better than others. This isn't necessarily the end all be all, but again, any source that you can use to get a better understanding isn't gonna hurt. So there's lots of good resources out there, and I'm not gonna complain about having one more. Anyways, so first time adventurings, first time GM and low level adventures, that's awesome. Player checklist. I need to read more of this. I've gotten a lot of books lately, so I have a lot to read. But types of adventures. Actually, that was a great one. Dungeon crawls. Simbita talks about. Actually, I think it was Simbita. Yeah, talks about just like the basic idea of a dungeon crawl. It's Rift's Earth. There's abandoned cities and all sorts of stuff all over the place. You can do a dungeon crawl super easy. Why not? Okay. So, different player types. This is just full of information, and I need to read a lot. Anyways, oh wait, is this the rules? Oh, it is. So one thing, like in various different Palladium books, they give you rules for, like, okay, so in this case it's creating towns and cities, but then they also give you rules for like creating organizations, and it's actually a pretty solid system. They've used it multiple different ways. So here's, okay, so organizations, syndicates and secret organizations, how to create that. So if you need bad guys for your players, you don't want to just use stuff out of the book. Hey, here's a way to make stuff. Mercenary companies. Okay, you want to put your characters into a mercenary company. Here's rules for how to make it. Is it small? Is it big? How much resources do they have? All that kind of stuff. So, anyways, this is, oh my gosh, I'm super excited to have this book. So, yeah, I've had it for a couple weeks, and I'm behind. Anyways, that is 27. So I think that book, or that box, came in pretty well. Give me a second. So 69, 70, 90, about 117 out of that box. So got a little bit more than they were saying. So that's great. All right, but that was box number 1. All right, box number 2. All right, this took me back. Ninjas and Super Spies. I absolutely loved this book. I am a child of the 80s, and ninjas were everywhere, and they were everything, and we all loved them, and we still do. Anyways, so Ninjas and Super Spies. This I am excited to get. They have 41 different styles for martial arts. They have alternate rules for hand to or well combat in general. So modern weapon combat. Where is it? Yeah, hand to hand combat, because if they're going to give you all these martial arts, they're trying to give you better rules so that you can actually use them instead of just like, oh look, I rolled to hit. No, like use these techniques. Try to create a more dramatic story. Anyways, it's cheesy. It is this. I mean, this is a game in and of itself, which for $23, 8.5 by 11, and how many pages? 172 pages. This is probably one of the better deals in role-playing games. And I don't care how cheesy it is. This is fantastic. This is fun. If you do anything with Palladium, just get this and relive the 80s. So, Ninjas and Super Spies. $23. Rift's Book of Magic. So basically, it's funny because I think this is out of date now. They released this, I think, in 2001. Yeah, originally printed in 2001. Oh, this is another advantage to doing the surprise box. They autograph everything. I think some of Sean Robeson, who's like the new creative director, didn't write anything in the book, but oh well. Anyways, so this came out in 2001, but it's basically a collection of magic and magic stuff that was released up until then. So basically, this is just a reference book. You're not going to really read it for background of Rifts. You're just going to read it so that, you don't have to have the Atlantis book and the England book and the Triax and the NGR book. Just, write down on your character what spells they have, and then here's a book that you can reference it in. So, $32 on that one, so we're up to 54? No, 50. I can't math. 55. All right, so then this one is Rift's New West. Real quick, what I said on this one, because I'd already received the first box, I asked for Ninjas and Super Spies. I also asked for Northern Gun 1, New West, Spirit West, Vampire Kingdoms, Book of Magic, Vampires, Game Master Guide, South America 2. Okay. But then I gave them a list of what I had already. So I got Ninjas and Super Spies, Book of Magic, I got New West. So basically I'm just trying to kind of, complement what I've already got. Most of the stuff that I ended up with is going to be North America because of it. So New West, they talk about what's going on in the West. So we've got some maps. Actually, I am going to point this out. So, you can see. Actually, let me zoom in. You can see the coastline of California and how it's all messed up. In 33 years, they haven't done anything with California. And they won't, as far as I know, they haven't talked about it. So I'm really curious what's going on in California, because there's got to be something. Okay. Anyways, but, just lots of maps, lots of information. Native Americans, they do say Indian in here. Deal with that how you will. But also what population centers there are, and what tribes live in those regions. This is actually kind of cool, so basically this is magic in North America where it's most prevalent. So what's going on in the Grand Canyon, magic, vampires, it's the West. So you get all sorts of, Western style classes. So like the gunfighter, bounty hunter, the bandit highwayman, who should technically be a bad guy, but whatever. The Justice Ranger, Psy Slinger, which is basically like a psychic gunfighter, Saddle Tramp. So I mean, lots of just fun information. monsters in the New West. Apparently, there's dinosaurs here now. Again, full of art. Say what you will, Palladium Books stuffs their books full of art. I know I've complained about it a lot before. Like in Shadowrun books, they don't do a ton of art. That is not the case in a Rifts book. So, tons of art. Alternate Samus designs, not coalition states. Fun fact: get the book yourself. Find out a little bit more. Actually, I'm planning on doing like some reviews of these later, so I'll talk more about it. Anyways, lots of stuff. Old West rifles. Revolvers. I mean, literally, this is like, do you want to play, Tombstone in Rifts? And it's just fun. Anyways, so, and 27 on that one. So 58, 61, 81. And then Rifts Northern Gun 1. So this was nice because I had Northern Gun 2. So I have the first book, which is going to deal more with like the territory. Very different art in this book. A lot from C. Walton, I think. Yeah, Charles Walton did most of that. He did the cover, and then he did a lot of. Oh, Charles Chuck Walton II did a lot of interior art. I'm not sure if they are different. He's got a very, very different style. Most of the others seem to kind of copy the Kevin Long style art that is very typical in Palladium. But anyways, so basically this is like northern Michigan, southern Canada kind of area of Rifts. And then I compare it with Northern Gun 2 to complete that. Actually, yeah, this guy looks cool. I don't know. It's just I think it's the Warwolf. No, the Gunwolf. It's a wolf robot. Who doesn't want a wolf robot? Anyways, so just big stompy robots. You want big stompy robots? This is a book for you. I mean, most Rifts books are big stompy robots, but this is a really good one. And wow, I just realized it's got the full art all the way around. That's awesome. 27 on that one as well. So 54, 86, 89, 109. So again, over $100 on that one. All right. And then the last box. So this was a little fun, a little depressing as well. So for the third box, I sent this like right after, or a couple days after I'd done the second one. And so I put in a completely different list, and I asked for Atlantis, Underseas, Federation of Magic, Warlords of Russia, Mystic Russia, Rifts Canada, Splendid Dimensional Market, Free Quebec, Zytikic Invasion, Dinosaur Swamp, Adventures in Dinosaur Swamp, Mad Haven, and Sourcebook 4, Coalition Navy. Now, I know I'm putting in a lot, but they do ask for a list of 10 plus, and you know you're not going to get it all. So just pick from this list. And anyways, so I got Atlantis. Now, keep in mind, this is World Book 2. This was originally printed in 1992. I had this book. That's one reason that I did these, is because they were really good deals for rebuilding my collection. But copyright 1992, printed in February 2022, but it's the same book. So it was a little frustrating because I know I had it and I know I got rid of it, and I regret that. So, anyways, basically the story here is that during the Cataclysm, actually let's find the map. Not a great one, but during the Cataclysm, Atlantis returned. And so you can see it here off the coast of North America. And that's one reason that the coastline is all different, is because, well, Atlantis is back. And so it displaced all the water, which means the sea levels rose. Wasn't even global warming this time. But so then they also talk about the Bermuda Triangle, which is now called the Demon Sea for, reasons. I mean, leyline magic, basically the Bermuda Triangle is a giant leyline nexus. Anyways, so they talk about that a little bit. What they call true Atlanteans, and then the minions of the Splugorth. So this is one of the cities on Atlantis. But then breaking down the different areas, the Gargoyle Kingdom of Atlantis, the City of Dragons, descriptions of the Splugorth and their minions, there it is. So that's a Splugorth. This is what they call an alien intelligence. Basically, intelligences are giant, massive creatures that are kind of supposed to be like campaign ending. They're interdimensional. It's the Palladium version of like Cthulhu. So big, super bad, nasty. So like the main bad guy, the main body has 56,000 MDC, so they're straight up ridiculous. But then, anyways, the different creatures that work for them, the Kitani, just random aliens. And so keep in mind, when I first got this, I was young. Like, I was in high school, but I was still young. Anyways, and so some of this, it was all just like super weird and just alien and strange. And I remember just talking with friends about like, just this weird stuff that was coming out. We loved getting the new books, just because of the weird stuff that would come out. Anyways, so just fun, crazy stuff. Some great art on these, weapons. So like we've got this Sword of Atlantis. Basically it's a magic sword. A little bit about the Atlantis dimensional market, the Kitani power armor, which Kitani were basically like these monkey creatures, but then they could like sit inside this power armor, so just super cool. Forgot like the snake version. Anyways, it's Rift. It's just super crazy, mega, like, Kitani dragon thing. Anyways, just fun. This was a fun flashback. 23 on that one. Rift's Underseas. So basically this one covers all of the ocean. And basically the ocean is just dangerous now. So like, I don't know if anyone actually goes swimming anymore. But yeah, just crazy, and animals and monsters and aliens and alien intelligences, the Lord of the Deep, basically a kraken that lives in the Marianas Trench. So just fun and ridiculous. Let's see here. Again, magic. Where is it? One thing that was actually kind of fun is the Nemo 2 and the New Navy. So basically the story is that during the Cataclysm, there was a submersible aircraft carrier, what did they call it? Oh, come on. Oh, the Ticonderoga. Okay. And it was out on maneuvers, and it was underneath the ocean, and so it survived. And so basically they created a society, but it's still based on the United States Navy at the time. And so, anyways, it's a submarine character or submarine aircraft carrier. And then it's got some additional submarines, and they've got like, hidden bases around the ocean that they can use to repair and refit. And yeah, so it's been 300 years. So what's going on? Anyways, just crazy fun stuff. Anyways, Rifts Underseas. So that's 27. So we're at 50. And then I got Warlords of Russia. Now these, I'll be honest, I don't know much about. I think they came out, 1998. I was getting married that year. So I didn't really get into these, I don't think. I don't remember if I ever had them, but basically it takes a lot of Russian mythology. And so the first one is Warlords, basically just, like crazy Russian stuff is really all I'm gonna say. Anyways, but just some fun. Russia apparently has a lot of cyborgs, so there's that to consider. Just all sorts of just great. But what they did with this one is they ended up splitting it. And so Mystic, instead of basically this is like the Warlords of Russia, this is all cyborgs and war machines and tanks and body armor and weapons and all that kind of stuff. And then Mystic Russia is all of the magic. So essentially the two books are in one, but they just kind of kept it a bit more contained. One thing that I did notice, there is no Baba Yaga in here. My understanding is there is a mention of it. I just haven't found it. I'm very curious as to how much of these are like based on actual Russian legends and how much of it is created to be a little bit different. But obviously that'll take some reading. Again, fun art, very, very different art. Very much more natural kind of stuff. Anyways, but different, different magics for Russia. So very much giving it its own feel, its own flavor. Few more vehicles that they said they couldn't fit into Warlords of Russia, but these came out back to back, so not surprising. Warlords of Russia was 27, this one was 23, so it came out basically right at $100. And this time they actually threw in a Riffs notepad, so just some extra, just some note paper with a Riffs logo at the top, and it's somewhere else, so I'm not going to show it on stream. But anyways, that's what I got from my surprise boxes. There's a lot. This year, I really want to play Riffs, especially with all of the OGL stuff going on and, kind of the shakeup in the role-playing community. I figure it would be fun to go back and try this older game, but I also want to try Savage Worlds. So I'm hoping that I can actually play them back to back in a couple of different adventures and be able to take that and see, how does it compare? Some people I know, they don't consider Savage Riffs. I take a little bit of a different stance. I think you can tell any kind of a story, even if you're using a different rule system to it. So I definitely want to do a compare and contrast and see how those work out. But regardless, lots of fun stuff coming this year. I'm hoping to be able to get RPG reviews coming out a little bit more frequently. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed for all of the tabletop gaming content coming out. Thursday nights, don't forget, we do interviews with various people around the gaming hobby, and hope you'll be there for that. So thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you next time.